Hi, my name is Bianca Bellange. I am an actress, screenwriter, and also a producer, working with my sister, Ayana.
Hello, my name is Ayana Oshun. I'm a director, screenwriter, actress, and producer.
What about you? What about you? I know that, well, at one point you had the bug for being an actress, so if you could talk a little bit about that.
I had an option class in cinema and I loved it. And we had to watch films and we had to discuss films, and I just fell in love with it, especially since the fact that ever since I was a child, I always loved writing. I was 16, 17, I told myself, oh, maybe through films I could change the world, because for me, some movies did change me. It made me think of the world, of human beings, of environment, of all kinds of subjects differently. So I wanted to contribute to make this world a better place.
You know, when I first started acting, it was very difficult, because you don't have a lot of experience. So, you audition a lot. I was very blessed to audition a lot because I know that a lot of fellow actors, it wasn't happening that way. But had trouble landing roles. Like, I like to do things, like not wait for things to happen. And so I said, you know what? Let me write myself a script, a short movie. I'll be the lead. Ayana directed. And I wrote it. I starred in it. There was a fellow actress. It was like a closed space. And it was like some type of a psychological thriller. It was like 10 minutes. And that's when I fell in love with writing.
When I was studying history in school, there are mandatory history classes.
Yeah.
And they told us that basically, the French discovered this territory, and then the English came. So it's always the story of the French, the English.
Versus the English,
a little bit of Aboriginal, but not really. We don't really hear about it. So to hear the richness of the truth, of the true history of this territory, all of a sudden I was not only someone who descend from the immigrants who came after Expo 67. I was inheriting the stories of all those people who came into this land, like Marie-Joseph Angélique, like others, before and after her. So I belong here. I'm not a stranger. I belong to this land, and I have
there were people
to
before
contribute.
you.
And through the storytelling, I'm able to. I'm empowering myself, to tell these stories and to have this sense of belonging.
And I think that's what we've been doing, telling stories that we haven't seen growing up, and we wish that we could see it. And that's when the myth of the Black woman came into play, because it was about what Black women have to deal with when it comes to stereotypes. To have an actual documentary with people telling you not only how ordinary people, what they have to go through, but also how they were able to transcend them, how they were able to go around, and even though they exist, but they have their own, they were able to forge their own path. So even though whatever negative image is there, they're able to say, no, that's not me, and they reject it. And so I think with that movie, the myth of the Black woman, for me, that's what I hoped I could do, and it would be something for the next generation as well.
Tell me, what is change for you?
Something has broken, I think, where I see now fellow producers who are Black, people of color, and bringing forth stories that are Black stories. I'm going to say it. Black stories that we don't usually see from another angle. To me, that's very impactful, and it encourages me to continue. Like, I'm not alone anymore. When I see the other people, like in schools now, there are more people of color. They're investing in this new generation of filmmakers, producers, writers, with so many stories to tell. I won't be able to tell them all. But to me, I think it's so beautiful, and so it's beautiful. That's the word that comes to mind. What about you?
For me, change, impactful change, is about transformation, I would say. I don't think something change, you know, one day it's black and the other day it's white. It goes through all phases of gray before getting to white and etc. So for me, transformation is that I think society has transformed a lot during the last few years, especially for black people, especially for BIPOC people. You know, there's something in the film industry I'm talking about. But I'm also aware that all these people throughout the years who have been fighting for centuries to bring us to where we are today have all contributed to this transformation that we're seeing. Maya Angelou said, you know, I'm standing on the shoulders of my ancestors. I think we are standing on the shoulders of all our ancestors, and they are all bringing us up and forward for us to give to the other person. So for me, that's impactful change. And everybody in their own field can have this impact around them.
I would love at one point to also help the next one. I would like to make it easier for the next person. Easier. It's not easy, but easier.
Yes.
Right? Easier for them.